MCU Rewatch Part 4, Iron Man 2. If you watched my last video about Iron Man, my pre-watch thoughts were about the same as the previous movie, where I just didn't really remember it. I know I didn't love it, I didn't feel like I hated it, but I just couldn't remember it, and I was hoping it would surprise me on the rewatch. It really didn't. The first 3/4 of the movie I had trouble locking in. I paused this movie I don't know how many times. It did the same thing with the previous movie. Whereas in comparison, I don't think I paused Captain America the First Avenger or Captain Marvel at all. I was so locked in. So I just had trouble getting into these movies. Until the last fourth of the movie, where I enjoyed them. For my MCU rewatch, I am trying to rank everything at the end, so I'm doing scores for each project. I'm not going to say movies because there's some other things in my list, and that gives me a score to help me rank it at the end. I can change the score later if I want to, but here's the categories for Iron Man 2. For story, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I feel like this would have been lower if it didn't really pick up towards the end. And it's just kind of middle of the road. I did enjoy it okay. Again, like I said, towards the end. Connection and feels. For Iron Man, I had given it a 1 out of 5. I just wasn't connecting to anybody. For this movie, I gave it a 2 out of 5. But mostly that slight uptick in connection and feels. This category is very personal, my connection can only be based on the movie I'm watching and stuff built upon movies that happened that I've already watched in the rewatch chronologically. I hope that makes sense. So I started to feel a connection toward Natasha and curiosity toward her character. I'm ignoring what happens later and just being but I'm curious about this character. And I thought Rhodey was more interesting in this movie. I've kind of connected with him a little bit. Still didn't connect much with Tony or Pepper, honestly. I just didn't. The next category is aesthetics and vibes and things like that. This movie had great music, of course, and the fight scenes were nice. And I really liked the fight scene toward the end where it had kind of video game vibes with Tony and Rhodey, and they had all the literal final boss thing happening there. And Natasha's fight scene was fun, and the whole thing with Happy and the one guard that he beat up, those were fun. So aesthetic and vibe, I'm giving it 3 out of 5. Rewatchability though, much like Iron Man, I'm gonna have to give it a 1 out of 5. If somebody's got it on, I might sit down and watch it with them. And if I do an MCU rewatch, I'll watch it again. So it's not a 0. The overall score for this movie is 9 out of 20. Now we're on to the next one, the last of my 3 that I wasn't really that excited to rewatch that happened to be in a row. The Incredible Hulk. Maybe it will be the one to surprise me. We'll see.